Oh man. And the new nab.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is a very special day. We are starting the S2K project. So what we have to do first is remove the calipers and pistons. I got some to replace the seized one. This is the seized one. I'm gonna do both sides just so we won't run into that issue again. And then we got to start removing the interior of the car for the bride seats and the cage. So we're gonna try to get as far as we can today. My buddy Cam is coming and Patrick may be over later today. And if this is your first time tuning into the channel, thank you for clicking. What we have going on is the S2000 project, and then we have my 2016 WRX that I'm going to be working on later as well. So both projects, but today is my beautiful S2000 Laguna Blue, baby. Let's get it. All right, let's dive right into it. While I'm doing this, I'm also going to change the oil, so killing two birds with one stone, baby. Let's get it. All right, my boy Cam came, so we got the we got the tent set up so we don't burn up. So the first thing we're gonna do is take the caliper part off. It's two 12mm bolts. So you're gonna do that first, and then there's two more additional bolts to take the bracket piece off. I believe the last time I did it they were 14 mil, but I'll double check once we get to that part. So this part's a little easy. You remove those two, and the caliper holding the brake pads will be able to come off, and then we'll just set it to the side, remove this piece, which is held on by the two bolts, and then the actual rotor will come off. We don't have any screw or anything holding on the rotor. If you have the stock one, I believe it's held on by one little screw. You can unscrew that. There's no need to put it back on, so I never put it back on. You can do it if you want. So that's the next part. All right, so I got the caliper off. Like I said, it was two 12mm bolts. So we're on the bracket piece. It's actually held in by two 17mm bolts. So I was wrong before. I thought it was 14. I'm used to working on Subarus, man. I don't know. So
Subi world.
yeah. So let's get this. Use the 17mm and get them. We're removing both sides, and I got the what are the new ones? So these are new pistons. So I got them with the bracket. So eBay special. And then new brake rotor. All right, so I got my side off. I'm gonna clean up some of this brake dust from when the caliper seized before I put on the new one. And Cam's taking off this side. We're just gonna go ahead and replace that piston as well. You know, I guess the stock S2000 calipers are notorious for seizing, so we were gonna replace them anyways. It just sucked it happened in the middle of when I was going on a ride, and I got stuck and had to get a tow, so it was garbage. It sucked. So yeah, let's get it. All right, so what I did was I used 220 grit in a wire brush and just got like the brake dust off. Try to get it as clean as possible. Sprayed it with brake clean as well after, and just wiped it down. So what we're gonna do, we did take the brake line cap off, or the brake fluid cap off, just to relieve some pressure when we took everything off. We kind of should have left it on, I guess, because we got to take the brake line off of the piston, but whatever. So what we're gonna do is unbolt the brake line from the caliper, and we're gonna just, I guess, zip tie it to the upper control arm and just you know, let gravity work itself. Some brake fluid is gonna leak out, but just like do your best to try and keep it in as much as possible. We're gonna, I guess, drain or do a brake line flush at the end.
And make sure you bleed your brakes.
Yeah, we're gonna bleed the brakes. That's what I meant. So yeah, so that's the next step. We're gonna put the rotors on. That way, when we put the new piston on, we can just let it hang from the spot, and then swap over the brake lines. So yeah, let's get it. All right, so a little bit of progress. We got the new stuff on. When you take the brake line off, it's gonna leak a little bit. So you can see in our pan, it's a little bit of brake fluid. What we did was we just held it up here until we got the new caliper on. You're just gonna work backwards like you did when you took it off. So we got the new equipment on. We're about to put the pads on now, and once we get the other side done, we're gonna bleed it, and we'll be done with this, and then we're gonna start gutting the interior, which is the fun part. So Pat just showed up. He apparently got a new steering wheel in his car, so we're about to check this steering wheel out. What up, Pat? Oh man, and the new nab. Oh yeah, that thing looks sick. I don't want to get like grease all on it, but
It's actually really light. Yeah. I like heavy knobs, but I just style over function right there.
dude, that thing is badass. And then we probably got to look at his exhaust because it was rattling a little bit.
And it's not doing it now. Of course it's not doing it.
What, your coil squeaking?
Yeah.
All right. Well, once we finish, we can probably take a look at it. This thing is sick. Yeah, except he wants to get rid of his Ganadors.
Because they ain't real. Oh.
All right, so we're pretty much done with the brakes. We got everything back on both sides. Cam's just finishing up this side with the brakes. New calipers on. We got to bleed it, which we'll probably do a little later. And Patrick finished up the oil change. Pretty much just got to pour the new oil in.
Yeah, that's the most important.
Yeah, before we start it, of course. And then we can start on the fun part, which is gutting the interior. Yeah.
You haven't even looked at the cage yet, have you?
No, because I kept it wrapped.
Yeah. When did it come in?
Last week.
You haven't even looked at it?
No, I mean, I opened it to made sure the powder coat was nice.
Yeah.
It's gonna be sick.
And then wheels.
Oh yeah, the wheels are gonna look flawless. Flawless victory.
Wheels.
Maybe.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe. All right, so we finished up the brakes. We got both sides done. We just got to bleed them. That's why the wheel's not on. Right now we're gonna gut the interior and get ready to put the cage in. So next step, get the stock seats out. Yeah, and go from there. Let's get it. I don't even know where to start at. Should be easy, I think. Just bolts. I've done seats before. It's really just the bolts.
Take the seat rails because they connected to.
Yeah, it's all of it. Yeah.
So you gotta take this base off.
We really don't know what we're doing, but we're trying here. So.
Yeah. That's all we gotta do.
Get it. Yeah, I think it's just those bolts. And probably scoot this up to get the rear one. We'll figure out.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, I think it's just the 4 bolts. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, it was just the 4 bolts, and then pulling the seats now. 14 mil.
This should be in.
Where's it at?
This should be in.
Oh, there we go. It's the last time this interior is gonna stay stock. Bye bye seats.
Bye bye. Bye bye, birdie.
So if you guys haven't seen the unboxing of the seats, go ahead and click that video. That thing's video is pretty sick. The seats are like crazy. I barely fit in them. I don't know if Cam will, because he's a little bit bigger than me too, but we'll squeeze in them.
We'll squeeze in for sure.
And
anything to enjoy it.
Yep. So this will probably be a two-part video, because we're probably not going to get to the to do the full interior today. The cage will probably take up most of the time, so we're going to try to finish the cage today. If not, then we'll probably just gut the interior today, clean everything up, and that'll be it for the video today probably. We'll see how far we get. So we're gonna try to like work just non-stop and do it, but I know we're gonna get kind of hungry here in a little bit. So yeah, that's it. We're gonna finish this up. Oh yeah, so when you finish the brakes, your traction control light will probably come on. I'm gonna figure out how to fix that. Hopefully it fixes itself when I go to do the brake flush. So we'll see how it is. I'll keep you guys updated the further we get. So all right, so these two cords are going to be connected to the bottom of the seat. You just unplug them. They're pretty simple. So you got the 4 bolts. What was it, 14 mil, right?
Yeah.
And then just these two, and then that's
14 mil in the back.
So 14 mil
in the front.
Yep. Cool. So that's pretty much it. And then we got this seat out. That side we need pliers because it's a little stuck. So we'll get that one out real quick. All right. So we got the seats pulled. So basically what we're changing out, we have to pull this whole section for the roll cage. Oh yeah, this piece, this goes with the stock stuff. So when we put the seats in, I'm not gonna plug in any, like none of the sensors are gonna go in to it. So you're gonna get the seatbelt warning on ours. This car is gonna be built for the track, so I'm not really worried about that. The steering wheel doesn't even have an airbag, so whatever. This whole section is gonna get replaced. This boot, all this stuff's pretty old, so that's getting changed out. Look at them Crocs, baby. Woo woo. So basically, to start the removal process, they're held in by these little clips, and you just pop the clips, then you use a screwdriver, and then you unscrew those. Then we'll get to the next part. I'll show you what the next part is. All right, so once you get those screws out, you just pull that top piece, and this will get exposed. I just pulled this out because I know this is attached to the center. That's gonna have to come out. You're gonna see 3 screws. You just unscrew those, and then we get to the next spot, which I'll figure out in a second. All right, so the next step, basically what we're doing is we're just opening things. Wherever there's a screw, we're just starting to unscrew it. So this back piece, you're gonna have the 2 volts like we said, and then there's another bolt or another screw right here, so that'll come out. And then this center console, when you open up, it's gonna have 4 screws, and you're gonna unscrew that, and then this center console will be removed. So we got to remove pretty much this whole back piece to get the cage in. So we think the next part is the this center. I think we have to take that out before we get to that. So these are held on by these little pop clip things. So you just pull them. If you do it slow, they'll come out. If you do it fast like Cam just did, they'll get stuck in there. So we got to use a tool to get the other ones on the other side out. But this whole centerpiece will come out. Get that one. Yep, just like that. So this whole piece lifts up, and we have the new one to replace it with. So we got to put that on. We got to take it out anyways, and then we can get the rest of this stuff out. So if you lift this up slowly, It'll expose the 2 little screws right here. So we'll take that off, and we need those out so we can get this thing out, the center console out. This thing's dirty, we'll clean it up. But this centerpiece, we'll try to clean it up as much as possible. We're using this plastic piece. All the little leather pieces, all that stuff is getting swapped out. So I'm gonna rewrap this. We got a bunch of suede stuff that we ordered in. So all of that's, you know, it's getting a new boot, all that. So there should be a wire holding or plugged into where the power outlet is. I think this car previously, before I bought it, somebody put in like a little iPod cord, so that's like in the center console. So there's one wire being ran from that, and it looks like there's a few more bolts underneath this. So we'll get to it, and then I'll update you along the way. All right, so there's 2 speaker wires plugged in from the top piece. So you take those out, they're just held in by these little pop clips, and then it should just pull right out. And then you just got to figure out, we'll probably just take that bolt off on the bottom there for the seat belt. That way we don't have to recoil everything, because I heard if it locks, it's a pain in the ass to get everything back. So we're just gonna unbolt the bottom. I'll hold it, run it through, and then bolt it back. All right, so I forgot to record some of this. Basically what you had to do was remove the plastic piece that was sitting in the back, and then you're able to get to, what was it, 4 bolts in the,
4
in the back?
screws.
4 screws behind it.
In the back of the center console.
Yep.
And then after that, you had to remove the outlet connection inside the center console to get to 2 screws that were behind this right here. This one was really hard to get to at first, because you have to really move the center console plastic to get the Phillips head to it. If you have a ratcheting boxing wrench, it would be great. If you had that, you could use that. And to get the plastic piece off in the back, there are 4 pins.
These the pop clips?
Yes, the pop clips. You have some pop clips, and you also have 4 clips on the bottom, and you had to get those, get to those through the trunk. And there was also a nut that connected the plastic piece. Once you remove all those components, we were able to pop the plastic piece up to get to the 4 screws behind the center console. And yeah, after that was just popping away. And then we were able to remove the anti-roll bars.
Yeah, the stock roll bars or whatever.
Stock roll bars from the centerpiece.
All right.
By removing 6 bolts.
And that's pretty much where we're gonna end it today. We're just gonna bleed the brakes real quick and then pull this in the garage. We're probably gonna work back on this in a couple of days. Not tomorrow, but Sunday. Today is Friday, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Tune in on our next video, and hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.